Hey guys, it's Roger from Roger's Reviews, and today we're going to be going over how to clean up one of these fresh air purifiers by Vollara. Even though they don't have like a filter, they do catch some dust and stuff from going through the machine, because basically there's so much air running through this. But the nice thing is you really don't have to clean them that often. So I have two machines here. This one has been running probably for, I would say, 6 months or something like that, maybe longer. And then before I cleaned it, and this one has been almost a year. And this is just in a small, like 1,000 square foot condo, 1 bedroom. So I don't even know if this one's ever been cleaned, to be honest with you. And all you're going to need is a, I guess, bowl of water, a bowl of water, and a small screwdriver, maybe like a toothbrush or a small brush, and maybe some disinfectant. Or you really don't need to do this, but I use Shackley Basic G. Or you can use something like from the dollar store, like an all-purpose degreaser cleaner, or Lysol, something that basic disinfectant degreaser. It's not real greasy; it's just powdery more than anything. But I did lose my small Phillips screwdriver. Oh, there it is. And then I'm using my new microphone. Hopefully that is helping, and then maybe a towel. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on here so maybe you can hopefully see a little better. Maybe expand the view a little bit. I don't know if that helps or not, but at least you can see a little bit. Might distort it a little bit, but I think it might be better than nothing, hopefully. If I can get it on there straight. Anyway, well, that's the best I can do, I guess. Hopefully you guys can see a little bit of what I'm doing. So first thing I'm going to do is turn the machine around, and I'm going to push up and pop that out. And it wouldn't be bad too if you had like a little vacuum, but what we're going to do now is just basically brush it out a little bit, and maybe take like a cloth, maybe even some Q-tips would probably be helpful as well if you want to get real detailed, but just a moist cloth, and kind of just wipe it down a little bit in here. Whoop. And while we're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and soak this. It's like a little filter, and you can actually get my glasses on. This thing comes apart as well. So you can pop this out, hopefully without breaking it. I need like a smaller, I think, a flathead screwdriver. And this should pop right out though. Maybe. It's been a while since I've done this, so bear with me. Yeah, see that pops right out. Probably would want like a small screwdriver to do this, so you don't break it. But that also pops out. Let me get a small, I have a Phillips head. I'm going to go ahead and get a flathead. And then let me grab one more thing while we're out here. Sorry about that. Alright, I found a couple things that I can use. These are just like dental tools, or you can use a small screwdriver. So, alright. Going to try to just pop this out, and then actually you could probably just do it without popping this apart if you really wanted to, but I'm gonna go ahead and pop this apart for you guys and get to it. It's being stubborn, of course. I think last time I just popped it right out without any tools, but for some reason it wants to be a booger. There you go. If you pull out on it, it seems to help. So here we go. It's very tight in the beginning, but it loosens up. Okay, there we go. If you just be gentle with it and patient, it'll come right out. So drop that in, pull this out. That one's stuck in there. So there's one little screen, and then there's another little piece of that, and then this actually, you probably don't want to pop that out because that'll be, I think, a little bit harder to get out. But you just drop that in the solution here, which is water. If you want, you can put some, I just put a little bit of basic G in there just for shits and giggles. All right, so just rinse it out. Look, it just like comes right out. If you want to, you can take a toothbrush and maybe brush it a little bit. But basically, this is just dust. So it's not, I haven't really had it to where it's like caked in or greasy or nasty. But if you want to, you can spray a little, maybe degreaser on it, just to make sure. This is awesome. Man, this, I use that on all my equipment, and it just really, this is the new one. It's the cherry blossom, so it doesn't smell quite as bad as the original, but I don't know if it's as strong or not, but I'm just trying it out. Figure it'd be better on the this thing because it's not really greasy at all. So that's pretty much it. I mean, you just scrub them out, rinse them out, and maybe if you want, you can soak them. And then you don't want to get much water in here, right? So you might just kind of just lightly, very lightly damp. Basically, you're just knocking the dust out of it, and just make sure you dry them out. You don't want any moisture in here at all. So don't be saturating this thing. And if you had like maybe a little pressure hose or a little air, like maybe an air nozzle, or what would work real good is a little can of compressed air, just to kind of, blow it out a little bit. But you don't want too much pressure, just enough to knock the dust out. And there's actually a little bit of dust in this crack here, so I'm gonna go ahead and hit that with, and again, do not put any, just a slightly damp toothbrush. No, you shouldn't have it hardly wet at all, just damp. Stick your toothbrush in the water and then kind of get most of the moisture out and then use it. Just barely damp. Of course, these are electronic devices. Then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take the front off this machine here. This is where this little Phillips head screwdriver comes in. Be careful. You might want to keep a magnet or something around. Let me grab a magnet. So that way I have a magnet and a little stainless steel bowl. So that way, if you have a little magnetic bowl, that would be good, because these screws are very small, and if they drop, they're going to be very hard to find. And I have a magnetic screwdriver too, so that is very awesome. See that? So I'm just going to drop those in the magnetic magnetized spoon, stainless steel spoon, and of course that stainless must not be that good, because a really good stainless is not magnetic. But it hasn't rust, so I'm not complaining. So okay, there's 4 screws, and this should, with a little help maybe, should this pop right out? Look at that. So it's basically a computer fan. So I'm going to go ahead and see all that dust in there. So I'm going to do the same thing, just very lightly. It's just a little computer fan. And what this is going to do, if you can, I'm going to go ahead and set this up like this, so that way when that dust and dirt fall out, hopefully it falls out and not in, but you're not going to be able to get all of it from falling in. So once you get done dusting it off, you might want to set it upside down and let that dirt just basically fall out. And you really don't have to do this part as often. Like, I've never done this. I just cleaned the screen, but I think it's been so long it started actually building up on the fan. And what will happen, it just won't be as efficient. And what's good too is I had one of these machines fail. I guess the button or something failed, and they sent me a refurbished unit, and it was like brand new. So worst case scenario, if it does happen, they will take care of you. So that's one good thing. So you might want to keep your box. Look at all that dust coming out of there. And sorry, I should have had some compressed air, but I don't. So, but just gonna give this a good little. It'll just make your machine last longer. Everything needs to be a little bit maintained, but I didn't realize how dirty this one was. So basically what will happen when you turn this thing on, all this stuff most of it will blow out. It was just sticking to the motors. So I'm gonna go ahead and dump that in my water. See that? It's just dust. That's basically all it is. I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of, I want to wear a mask. Get that dust off there. And this is the other one, so I'm going to go ahead and do this one as well. I'm going to go ahead and, now this one it's not as bad, so I'm just going to throw the whole thing in there, and then I'm going to dust this off a little bit. And preferably this would probably be better if you had a garage or something to do this in. You'd probably wear a mask, because this is a lot of dust from who knows where and how long it's been. Another thing is, if you had one of those little ultrasonic cleaners, you could probably, I mean, don't quote me on this, but you could probably submerge all this stuff if you had an ultrasonic cleaner, and then just let it dry out real good. Then you'd have something that's like perfectly clean. Now, I've never taken the back off of this, so I'm not going to, because it has that honeycomb inside it there. So I'm basically just gonna, and the front of this doesn't actually look that bad. So that's it for this one. I'm not gonna clean, well, you know what, since I'm doing this, it doesn't really need it, but I'm gonna go ahead and pull the front off. Might as well, because this might be 6 months or a year, or who knows when I do this again. So go ahead and take this one apart. But these units are awesome. I actually have the newer unit now with the ozone. So, but what's nice about these are smaller units, and they can, of course, take up less space. So it has a smaller footprint, and they're still good units. These are like the original ones I got. So let's see. Man, that's not bad at all. It's like, can't even really see any dirt hardly to speak of. But I'll go ahead and give it a quick, it's got a little tiny bit of dust on the blade, so I'll go ahead and give it a quick little, man, I wish I had some compressed air. But that'll be the next thing. Neck border, I'll have that around. I don't really, basically you're like, this is like cleaning a computer, a CPU. My buddy had a computer shop, and he said this is one of the best things you can do is clean out your fan motor for your computer, because this fan's constantly sucking in air, so you can imagine it'll accumulate dirt after a while. So anyway, that's about it. I can't really think of anything else. I wouldn't really take it apart any further than this. And also, too, I believe, like, you can actually send these in and have them do it. If you don't feel comfortable doing this, or you think you might break it, just send it in and have them clean it out. And then, or call your representative, whoever sold it to you, and they can actually maybe help you out with this. So I think I'm pretty happy with that. You can, my hands are big enough where I can palm it, so. I don't have, you know, I'm just using a toothbrush. I'm not using any special tools, really. You can get all this stuff at the dollar store. A jewelry screwdriver, a little teeth cleaning kit. You know, it has a little scratcher, and then it has like it's like plaque remover type equipment. And that's it. So all we have to do now is let this stuff dry out and put it back in. So I'm going to go ahead and shoot this stuff down while it's in the degreaser and let it do its thing. See, that one's like perfectly dry. Set this in front of a fan or something and let everything dry out. Put it on a towel, and you are done cleaning your air purifier. Like I said, I had other air purifiers in the past, and they were a lot more, you have to do it a lot more often, because these kind of just electronically shock the air and then the dirt falls. Usually doesn't, you know, most of it doesn't end up in the unit. But I wish I had an ultrasonic thing I could dip them in, and then you probably could just, I don't know, if anybody knows what they could do, like maybe drop the whole unit in there and then flush it out and let it dry and then start it up. I don't know. If anybody knows, I know my uncle had a unit like that, and he used to put all kinds of electronic parts in there. As long as they're dry and aired out, they're fine. So anyway, this is Roger with Roger's Reviews. Clean out the Vollara Fresh Aire Cube. Good luck. See you on the next one.